What are the best business writing examples? Well, in this video, we're going to dive into that more. And hey there, my name is Josh, and I have over 10 years of experience in technical writing. I'm also the founder of Technical Writer HQ. And before we fully dive in, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, and that way you don't miss any of our future videos on how to become a great business writer and technical writer. Now let's go ahead and get started. In business, efficient communication is key to improving processes and transmitting information in simple but effective ways. And business professionals use a wide variety of writing to significantly improve their internal and B2B communication. However, not all business writing follows the same format. It can vary according to the content and information transmitted. Understanding the principles and format of business writing is essential to writing documents. And before we dive headfirst into the examples, let's quickly review business writing types. Business writing refers to written communications conducted by colleagues, supervisors, business stakeholders, and clients. And in turn, business writing is divided into four main types. So first we have instructional business writing. Now this type of business writing aims to provide the reader with clear and concise instructions or guidelines. An example is user instruction manuals, documents that provide a step-by-step guide to carrying out a task. And then we have informational business writing. This business writing aims to inform readers. An example is financial performance reports, which inform readers of how well or poorly a company has done in its financial year. On the other hand, persuasive business writing is used to convince or influence readers, usually to persuade them about something. And organizations use this type of business writing to highlight their successes and submit proposals to win new clients. For example, business proposals that you send out as an agency, maybe it's a marketing proposal, maybe it's a sales proposal. And finally, we have transactional business writing, which refers to day-to-day business-related communications. An example of transactional business writing is a business invoice sent to a client, in which the service provided are detailed in addition to the billing information. Now that we know the four main types of business writing, let's go ahead and explore some examples of business writing and its applications within the industry. The first example is business letters. This type of business documentation falls under the category of transactional business writing. And business letters are a type of formal communication used to deal with business-related issues between two or more parties. For example, an employee may send a business letter to their employer announcing their resignation or formally requesting a promotion. And the fundamental structure of a business letter includes the address, contact information, subject line, and of course, the body of the letter, ending with a closing statement. And the most common letters in business writing are cover letters and resignation letters. And cover letters can be part of whether your resume or a proposal like a grant proposal. Our second example is that of a press release. This type of business writing falls under the category of persuasive business writing and is usually written by the company's public relations department or marketing team. And press releases seek to deliver information to external business audiences. For example, when a company wants to announce a new product launch or make it public that the company has received an award, they use a press release. And they are usually published on the company's website, social networks, or print media. And it should be noted that this type of business writing must get to the point and avoid big text chunks to facilitate the understanding and engagement of the general audience. Now let's go ahead and move on to emails. And emails fall under transactional business writing, and they are probably the most common type of communication the day-to-day of employees. And although they are not considered quick chats, they facilitate communication quite significantly. And we can say that emails are a lesser form of business letters. And they have a similar structure and are easy to customize to suit any tone and situation. For example, when a student sends an email to their professor with a question about an academic project or an employee requests feedback from their employer, those are just simple examples of what could be in an email. Now let's go ahead and talk about user manuals. As you can imagine, user manuals fall into the category of instructional business writing. User manuals provide instructions for employees about specific business processes, and each company can have its own format for user manuals, and users of manuals may also be external users, so users of a product. And one of the important things when it comes to creating business writing is that there should be some type of agreement on professional tone and avoiding excessive technical jargon that may hinder the reader's understanding. One of the big differences between user manuals can also be presentation. For example, SaaS companies usually provide an online user manual, while manufacturing companies provide a hard copy of the manual along with the product. But they still may have it hosted online, in their backend where they can work and adjust it pretty flexibly. Now, the next on the list is business reports. Business reports are an example of informational business writing. They mainly outline business-related relevant data. And business reports provide data, research results, and other relevant information to interested parties and stakeholders, facilitating business decision-making. And business reports must be written objectively, leaving aside personal opinions, because stakeholders must rely on data and research results to make the right decision. However, adding a recommendation section to business reports is acceptable. And the business report structure includes an executive summary, table of contents, introduction, body paragraphs, conclusion, references, and appendix. Now let's go ahead and talk about newsletters. Newsletters fall into both persuasive and informational types of business writing. When newsletters are used for internal communication, their purpose is to convey information within the organization, while for external communication, they serve to persuade the audience. And companies usually have staff in charge of writing and distributing newsletters from time to time. The newsletters appeal to a less formal style and tone to appeal to the general audience and engage them. And when the newsletters are for an external audience, well, they are usually monthly or bi-monthly. It really depends on the company's needs and what the audience expects. Although the structure may vary, newsletters are characterized by maintaining the same format throughout their publications. In this way, the audience knows what to expect and is predisposed to receive informative content from that organization. And then we have handbooks, which are another excellent example of instructional business writing. Handbooks are used internally to provide relevant information to employees about company policies and help them become familiar with them. Handbooks must be easy to read and understand, and depending on the organization's size, the human resources department can write them, although in many cases, companies hire legal advisors ultimately to help them incorporate any necessary legal terms. Some examples of handbooks are those that describe compensation policies, dress code, time off, shifts, and legal regulations of a company. Now let's go ahead and move on to meeting agendas. They serve as an example of informational business writing and are intended to list the topics to be discussed during a meeting. And meeting agendas are essential so attendees can know in advance the topics that will be covered in the meeting. And they greatly improve the meeting workflow. And I honestly wish more people created meeting agendas to help all the meetings I take part in go much smoother. But yeah, it's hard to make that happen, but it's something that is just so important. And meeting agendas contain basic information too, such as meetings, date, time, and location. Also, they do not require formal writing. Instead, incomplete sentences, shorthands, and bulletin information can be used to make them easy to read. And finally here, we have memos. So these fall under the instructional business writing type. And memos are an informal method of communication within the organization. And usually memos are short, single-purpose messages. And one of the advantages of memos is that they facilitate mass internal communication and do not require formal writing. The Human Resource Department can send memos to notify employees of some minor change in the company policy, or a manager to stakeholders to announce the launch of a new product. So a lot of important things that memos can be used for. And being a shorter and less formal communication, the structure of the memos are often divided into an introduction, a body paragraph, and a brief conclusion. And now that you know the main types of business writing and some of the most outstanding examples, you will have a better understanding of the business communication processes and how to write this type of documentation. If you have any questions or something to add to this video on the different types of business writing and their examples, make sure to go ahead and drop it in the comment section below, and I'll go ahead and respond to you. And if you feel like you just have a better idea overall and you really got something from this video, make sure to go ahead and like it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel at Technical Writer HQ so you can become a better business writer and overall technical writer. And I'll go ahead and see you in some of our following videos. Cheers.